Joining us now from the Job Creators Network and the National Women's Coalition, Sue Kenfield. Hey, Sue, great to have you, man.
Good morning, John. Thanks for having me.
Sue, tell me about some of the things that you're involved with the Women's Coalition. Laura Trump is launching a new organization, a Women's Business Coalition, on Tuesday. It's going to be just outside of Philadelphia. What are some of the things that you're working on? What are some of the impacts, the impact of the Trump economy on your organization? Can you lay that out for us, Sue?
Sure, I'd be happy to. You know, it's been a great economy for women. Last year, there were 12.3 million women-owned businesses in the United States, and women own 4 out of every 10 businesses in the United States. So that's a pretty impressive number when you think back in 2007, that's been an increase of 58% overall, which
Wow.
businesses in general have only seen an increase of 12%. So women are rocking it out there, launching new businesses.
And so how does this tie back in? Why has this women upswing and surge in opening up businesses? What's the genesis of this now?
Well, I think women want to be empowered. You know, women are creative. They want to have an impact in the world, and this economy has allowed them to go out there and unleash that creativity. When you have a down economy, it's much more difficult for anybody to do that. And, you know, women have unique skills and opportunities to go out and impact the world in interesting ways. And some of the regulations that have been holding women back have been lifted under this administration. And I think it's just an exciting time for businesses in general and women in particular.
You know, the other thing, Sue, that you want to talk about is and I saw this, I think it was Ivanka Trump shared this with me the last time I was in a meeting with her at the White House. All these women that have started new businesses in the Trump economy, 69% of them are minority women. 69%. And of the 69%, 75% of those are African American women. Why?
Well, again, if opportunities open and women have that availability to unleash that potential, that entrepreneurial spirit, and go out and make a difference in the world, it's a great thing. And so I think women have been inspired, and they look around and they see the opportunities, and there's probably a little bit more focus on reaching out to women to assist them in ways that are beneficial for them to get those businesses off the ground. As you say, last year there were 1,800 new women-owned businesses that were launched every day, and women of color founded a majority of those businesses, and that's really exciting. The businesses owned by women of color grew 163% between 2007 and 2018.
That's pretty amazing to get that kind of growth. Sue, tell us a little about Sue Kenfield, your involvement, your company. How's that evolved?
Sure. So I have my own consulting company. I was part of the corporate arena for many years, and I went out on my own in 2008. Not the best year to launch a business.
Oh, my God, no. It was right in the middle of the recession and the meltdown.
Yeah, absolutely. 11 years later, I'm still here, though. And so I work with organizations, leaders, and teams, and I focus on that really important asset that organizations have, their people. And managers are spending at least 40% of their time trying to handle dysfunctional human dynamics in the workplace. So I go in and I help with that for organizations to help people get those skills that employers are demanding, that soft skill set, which I call essential skills, are actually more in demand now than technical skills, because you can teach the technical skills. We definitely have an essential soft skill gap. So I address that for businesses to help them be more productive and successful.
If people want more information on your business, Sue, what's your website? Where do they go?
Sure, they can go to SueKenfield.com.
And now, you said you left corporate America, right? So I did too. A little before 2008, though. I date you a little bit, so I'm a little bit older. But so both of us went through that, left the rat race. But you opened up a business in 2008. I mean, there's no worse time in since the Great Depression trying to open a business. Nobody had any money back then. People were being foreclosed on. Cars were being repoed. Unemployment was 13%. How did you survive through that, Sue?
Well, I planned ahead. I had a little bit of savings that could carry me through some of the difficult times, and I had connections that I worked. When I was in the corporate arena, people saw the quality of the work that I did there, and gave me opportunities when I went out on my own. So it was a rough time. It was a little scary. I started to have some doubt, as many people would, but I had to trust that what I had been wanting to do for a couple of years at that point was going to carry me through. And so I just kept pushing forward, and that's the entrepreneurial spirit. Don't quit.
Right. So tell me, since the Trump economy and the tax cuts have taken root, tell me about how that's affected your business specifically.
Well, when people have more capital to work with, it's easier for them to invest in their most important asset, their people. When economies attract, generally that tends to retract as well. And so, my customers are all doing well in terms of their business and their market segments. Their biggest challenge is finding the talent now. And so it's an unfortunate but a preferable problem to have as opposed to not having enough work. And so it's exciting for people who are out there who are looking for jobs and wanting to maybe move into opportunities that provide a much better living wage for them. The opportunities are endless, and so I'm excited. I'm a big proponent for human ability and human potential, and I think this economy is doing a lot to ignite the expression of that human potential, and we all benefit when people have the chance to go out there and express themselves creatively and do what they're passionate about and be successful at it.
You're on the John Fredericks Radio Network, Truck the Truth Across America. We're live today in Richmond, Virginia. We're with Sue Kenfield. You can follow her at SueKenfield.com. She's a former corporate executive. Now she's an entrepreneur. Her business transforming complex human dynamics, which she was just talking about. And she left the rat race of corporate America in 2008. Toughest time to do that. And this segment is brought to you by the Job Creators Network. For more information, you want to go to JobCreatorsNetwork.com. JobCreatorsNetwork.com. Let's talk about the Women's Coalition Trump re-election 2020. A lot of women, Sue, in suburban America, they don't like the president. They don't like his tweets. They don't like his demeanor. They don't like his tone. Soccer moms don't like him. We've heard that. We've seen all the polling. President at risk big time with that group. What are you going to do to change that?
Yeah, I think it's helping women understand how they're benefiting from the policies of the administration and the exciting business environment that we find ourselves in. I completely understand. I specialize in emotional intelligence, and sometimes I smack my forehead when I see some of the things that are going on, not just with President Trump, but with other leaders. It is one of the skills that gets in the way of people being able to see what you can truly do. And my call to action for people is to focus on the policies that affect how you live your life. Personalities don't necessarily affect how you live your life, but policies will. And it can be difficult to get beyond a personality that rubs you the wrong way, but that's an emotional reaction. And so I encourage people to go to a more objective point of view and look at how these policies are impacting the benefits that you receive for you and your family and the opportunities that are out there. We all win when we have a good economy.
I tell you what, that's the message you have to get out. I was listening to some fake news pollster in Virginia about a week ago from Christopher Newport University. And she was telling me how women, suburban women, are abandoning the president like crazy. They're going to vote for the Democratic nominee, even if some whack job socialist. And she said the reason is they're terrified that Trump might get reelected again. And she used the word terrified. And I said to her, terrified of what? Like terrified of a better job, terrified of the best economy since the Second World War, since the baby boomers, terrified of wages up for 5 consecutive quarters, terrified of the lowest black unemployment, the lowest Hispanic unemployment, the lowest Asian unemployment, terrified of getting out of these wars. Terrified of what? Like, what are you talking about? That's the issue. If you can just get the message out, this economy is doing so great for women I mean, it's unbelievable. We have more women working now than we've ever had. As you said, 168% increase in women opening up new businesses. 69% of those minorities, 75% of those African-American females. The Trump economy for women is booming. All you got to do is get past a tweet, and I think he's going to do a lot better with women, Sue, than meets the eye.
Well, and that's part of the role of Job Creators Network and the Women's Coalition is to help women understand how they're benefiting from these policies. Unfortunately, you have to look really hard to find a news show that's going to tout what the good that's been happening under this administration, and so it's harder for women to find the good news. And so that's our role, is to get that message out and help people understand the policies are helping women in a myriad of ways. And that's part of the challenge with, I think, anybody who wants to support these policies and have an economy continue to grow is to be able to communicate that in ways that get beyond what people feel about the personality.
And Sue, that's what we're doing right here today. Sue Kenfield, Job Creators Network, National Women's Coalition. And that news outlet, Sue, that you're looking for is mine right here in the John Fredericks Show. That's why, Sue, when the show is over, you want to download.
Really appreciate it.
Sue, you want to download my app. It'll change your life. Not only will you get the news you want, but you can have me 24/7. So if you have an iPhone, Sue, just go to, just put in the App Store, The John Fredericks Show. If you have an Android, no problem. Go to Google Play, put The John Fredericks Show in. Download my app. Your life, Sue, will immediately get better, guaranteed. And everything else you want, you just touch it, make a wish. It's the best app ever in the history of apps. Sue, thanks for being with us. Thanks for being with us. Brought to you by the Job Creators Network. Sue Kenfield, she's part of the National Women's Coalition, trying to get the word out. All you have to do is open the door and look outside, and life is great under the Trump economy for women. Thanks for being with us, Sue. Go to SueKenfield.com, SueKenfield.com.